house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 19 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Lennon Perez. I actually had the honor of meeting Lennon at the Big Brother 19 premiere party, which was so much fun. Thanks for coming over and chatting with me. I had a great time meeting you. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We have so much to talk about. I don't even know if I can make it through this whole video without having my batteries changed. And I don't mean the camera batteries. I mean like for my freaking brain. So let's get started. Okay, yesterday they had the power veto ceremony and it was quite a show. Alex used it on herself. Cody tried to nominate Paul in her place. He tried to be all slick about it and Paul was like, "What? I got this pendant of protection." Everybody found out that he is safe for 3 weeks. He can't be evicted, can't even be nominated, which means that Cody had to nominate yet another person for eviction. So he had to make a snap decision and he put up Christmas. So now it's Christmas versus Jillian. One of them will be leaving on Thursday. So when the feeds came back, it was absolute insanity. I have about 3 pages here of notes for about 15 minutes of action. So Christmas was really upset with Cody. They were up in the HOH room and Cody was telling her like, your loyalty lies with Paul, not me. And Christmas is like, I have 0 alliances. You said that we were all gonna go to the jury and you didn't stick to your plan. Like, you're the one that didn't want a set alliance with this group. And Cody's like, Christmas, we're so far into these nominations and the game has changed so much and you just don't understand. I mean, he has had to go through like 50 different plans, but still, she's pissed. So she's just like, you're not a man of your word. You're not loyal. And Christmas starts leaving the room and she's just like, have I lied to you? Tell me when I've lied to you. Give me one example. Cody's just like, he's got nothing. He's got nothing. But he's just telling her like, oh, let's see if you can get yourself off the block this week. So Christmas leaves. She's pissed. And Cody says to himself, effing 3 weeks of safety. Effing a-holes. I bleeped those words. So, yeah, he's really upset. And I don't blame him for being upset because he's been through a lot this week with everything he's had to do. And he tries to get rid of Paul, but that twist will not let it happen. So, I mean, I'm sure it feels like ridiculous to be him right now. So, the other cameras at the same time are on Paul. And when the feeds come back, he's in the backyard with Alex. And he's like, holy crap, has Christmas been talking crap about me? Like, what's the deal? Because Cody made some sort of remark during the veto ceremony where he was like, Christmas, looks like you're getting screwed over. So Paul took that as Christmas talking crap about him, but I don't really see the connection there. But anyway, Alex is just like, yep, Christmas has gotta go. So then she asked Paul, are you gonna come work with my crew and take out the showmances? Paul gives her the thumbs up and goes inside. So all along the way, everybody's like, Paul, I had no idea. Can we talk? And he's just like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. But he lands in the red bedroom, the rose bedroom. Jessica and Dominique are in there, and Jess is just like, I swear I wasn't in on this. Like, me and Cody play separate games. I did not know about this. Which is true. She did not know that this exactly was going to happen. She had to have figured it out, though, right? Freaking Cody was like, oh yeah, I like everybody except for Paul and Christmas. Duh! Okay, so Paul's like, well, guess what? I pledged my loyalty to a group. I took the temptation as plan B. No, I didn't tell anybody about it, but nobody's in danger, right? Like, the person who's cursed is not even in our group. So he's like, yeah, I took the temptation just in case my group stabbed me in the back. And boy, is he happy he took that temptation, because guess what? He got effed. So Dominique, same thing as Jess. She's just like, I was really shocked about this. I was not in on this plan. She said, I felt like something was weird yesterday and I prayed about it. And Paul's just like, so then Christmas busts in and she's just like, somebody want to tell me what the F's going on right now? So Paul is like, have you been campaigning against me? Because he brings up the thing that Cody said during the ceremony and she's just like, that's not how I took it at all. I agree with what Christmas is saying. She was like, that was him saying that, you know, I'm guilty by association. That seems to be his thing here. So Christmas is like, there's no way I've ever said anything bad about you. So Paul's like, okay, it makes sense. So again, Paul is saying, he was screwed over by the team, not just one person. He's not buying that Cody was keeping this to himself. What the crazy thing is, though, that he actually was. So Paul leaves. Christmas continues to rant to the girls, and she's just like, F you, Cody, this is what I get for playing a loyal game. So she's saying this isn't the military or dictatorship. She's really pissed because she thought that she was in with that group, but turns out Cody was only looking for protection for himself, the other people in the showmances, and Dominique when he was making his deals. So then I totally forgot Josh was even standing in the room because he was being really quiet, and out of nowhere he's just like, oh, nobody spoke game with me at all this week. And Christmas is like, this isn't about you. You're safe this week. Don't get in my effing face. So then Josh is just like, okay. So he's leaving the room, and Christmas is like, sorry, Josh. Oh my god. I know that Josh is like a jerk to everybody, but like it's this constant cycle, and everybody's really mean to him, and that makes him hate everybody else, and then it's just like a mess. So whoever's nice to Josh should easily be able to scoop him up and get him to do their bidding. But anyway, meanwhile, Cody was outside with Mark, and Mark is sticking by his man. It's like a freaking press conference after it comes out that a politician was like inappropriate or something. So Mark is standing right by Cody at the podium, and he's just like, I wasn't expecting that move, but I really like it. So he's saying, I want Christmas to go. If you guys remember, I talked about in yesterday's spoiler, Mark was really annoyed with Christmas because of some of the questions that she was asking him during his interview with Dominique on her fake talk show. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should pause this and go watch yesterday's spoiler. But anyway, he's saying he wants Christmas to go. And then Jason joins them. He's just like, good choice, good choice. He's just happy to be there and not be up on the block right now. He doesn't care as long as it's not him. And it was just an added bonus that it wasn't somebody else in his alliance or his little group. So then Jessica pulls Cody aside to talk upstairs, and Jess is like, all right, I knew that you would eventually want to take Paul out, but I didn't think that it would be this soon because Jessica really likes Paul. She told Cody that Paul is like her Alex because, you know, that whole thing. But anyway, Cody's like, I had to do it. Everybody was cool, but then like Paul would say something and he would like inject this poison into the group. He caused all this anxiety and confusion and distrust towards me, and that's not okay. So Jess is like, well, I hope you realized you just changed the entire game. So Cody is like, yeah, whatever. He is just really pissed that not only did Paul get the DOT, but he also gets to play in the next HOH. He just thinks that's totally unfair. I mean, kind of, right? But that's the game, you know? That's what you signed up for. You gotta realize that going in. It's not always gonna be fair. So then Jess says, I'm pissed at Paul for lying about getting the temptation. I'm pissed at you, Cody, for ruining the peace in the house. And she says, it looks to everybody else now like you've been playing both sides. Like, how is anybody gonna trust you? And Paul, not Paul, Cody's just like, I don't care, I'm the target now, whatever. And he leaves in a huff. So Jessica follows him out to the backyard, and she's like, why are you running away from me? Like, I'm not allowed to feel something about this? What the hell? So Cody's like, what does it matter? I'm the target now. And Jess is like, that's selfish. So Cody explains again, like, he felt like he needed to take the first shot at Paul, because if he didn't, Paul was gonna come after him and he'd be sorry. So he tells Jess, you know, just lay low and chill for right now. It's all gonna be fine. So then Paul comes outside, and Cody's just like, 3 weeks? Really? You're safe for 3 weeks? And Paul's like, yep. So then Cody, this is so sad. Cody tells Paul the first nail in his coffin was week 1 when he didn't give him a friendship bracelet. Oh my god, did he not invite you to his McDonald's birthday party too? Is that what this is about? So Paul's like, come on, man. Like, that was the first freaking day. I didn't even know anybody. Didn't I prove myself to you after that? So Cody is explaining to Paul the same thing we heard before. He feels like he was stirring up, bless you, a lot of drama and distrust and confusion within their group. So Paul's like, all right, whatever. I'm not mad. I had some Ica flashbacks. I'm not mad at you, Karen. He says he's not mad, but he's telling Cody, like, you really need to look at your surroundings again. You need to look at this from a different perspective. Like, chill it with the paranoia, because, like, I wasn't doing anything to try and mess with the group. So then Paul and Cody end up taking this discussion to the Apple Lounge. It's a lot of the same stuff, same explanations we have heard, stirring the pot, blah, blah, blah. And Paul's saying, don't let the paranoia get to you. And Paul really wants to know, like, was this a collective decision, or was this really just you and your own brain? So Cody's like, it was all me. No one knew about it. I wanted to be the one to take you out. And Paul says, I respect that. I still don't think that Paul really believes it, but he's going along with it. Meanwhile, the cool kids are panicking until they come up with their own alliance name. I'm just going to keep calling them the cool kids. So they're panicking up in the HOH room. Matt, Raven, Jess, and Elena were all up there. And they're really pissed that Cody didn't just, like, do what the whole group wanted him to do and put Jason up on the block. They feel like they can't trust Cody right now. He didn't tell anybody about this in advance. They all like Paul. Bless you again. So Jess is like, yeah, Cody is kind of playing both sides right now. I don't blame you for not trusting him. But at the same time, she is defending him a lot. And she's saying, like, we need to stick together. We can't give up on the group so soon. So Raven and Elena are like, I don't know what we're going to do about Cody yet. But they definitely do not want to vote out Christmas. And it was just so funny the way that they were saying, like, we have nothing right now. Hello, you're in an alliance that's not really an alliance with, like, freaking 9 people or whatever. Get a grip. It's week 2. So the other people from this group join in, Cody, Dominique, and Mark. And Cody, Mark, and Jess are all really pushing that Christmas has to go. The others are like, I'm not into this. I don't want to vote out Christmas, and I don't want to be on Paul's bad side. So they're saying, like, the 3, Cody, Jess, and Mark are all saying, if Christmas wins HOH, she's going to attack our side. Like, we need to get rid of her. And Mark is saying, I know you guys really like Paul, but there's no going back now. You know, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. We need to stick together. We can't have them both in the house still. So then Paul is putting in work for Christmas. He wants her to stay. He cleared up everything with her, and he feels like if she sticks around, they can really do some damage together. So he was campaigning for her to Kevin and Jason, and he's like, yeah, Christmas is really pissed at the couples. Who would you rather have fighting for you in competitions, Jillian or Christmas? So Kevin and Jason are like, yeah, that sounds great and all, but can we trust Christmas? She's kind of a loose cannon. I don't know. She's working with all those people when Jillian's been with us this whole time. So Paul's like, yeah, but you can absolutely trust Christmas. She just got screwed over by those people. She is not going to want to work with them. We'll come back to all that. So then Raven and Matt were in the Apple Lounge with Christmas, and this is a familiar theme that we saw throughout last night. People telling Christmas and or Paul they had no idea that this was happening. They didn't know that Cody was going to do this, and they are with Christmas. They say they want her to stay. They're not going to vote her out. We'll see. So then Paul was chatting with Alex in the backyard, and Paul is saying, like, I don't believe that no one knew that Cody was planning this. Jessica has been sleeping up in the HOH room with him every night. You're going to tell me she didn't know? Again, it's crazy because she did not know. But Alex fills Paul in on some info. She lets him know about the deals Cody made with her and Jason before the power veto ceremony. So he's like, oh, very interesting. Like, good to know. So then they were talking about getting the outsiders together to go after all the couples, even pulling in Josh. They don't want to do it, but they know they have to. And seriously, if Josh can keep his mouth shut, he could stick around for a while. But anyway, Paul starts planting seeds about keeping Christmas. Like, they have similar interests here in taking out the couples, but Alex wants Jillian to stay. Paul wants Christmas to stay. So I don't know what's going to happen there yet. I don't know. But Cody and Christmas were chatting again in the HOH room. Much calmer this time. They were talking things through a bit. Same explanation we've heard. He felt like he had to put up Christmas because he already went for Paul. And if he didn't put Christmas up, he thought that she was going to come after him for going for Paul. So he also adds that he really just wanted to get Megan out this week, and then he had to nominate like 50 more people. He had to put up 5 people this week. Paul was his next target. That couldn't happen. So I mean, he didn't really have tons of things that he could do, he felt like. But this conversation pretty much ended with them both agreeing that they want Raven to win this season. Is it really going to be like that? Like, I feel bad for Raven and, like, her medical issues and stuff, and I want her to get money to, like, pay for everything that she needs, but at the same time, like, if everybody just hands the game to her, that's going to be really boring. If she wins, you know, and deserves it, great. But I just hope they're not going to be like, okay, we're all going to let Raven win, yay. Anyway, Paul and Ramses were chatting in the have-not room, and Paul is like, yo, I'm going to give you some advice here. You need to take it easy a little bit on the intel collection because some people have picked up on it and you could be in trouble soon if you don't tone it down. So then they're talking about Ramses' curse. I don't know how exactly Paul found out about it. He might have just like asked him. Actually, he might have heard from like Alex or somebody. And then he was asking him about it, and we find out that Ramses, within the next 3 weeks, has to choose one of those weeks to put himself up on the block as a third nominee. That sucks, but at the same time, if he chooses wisely, it should not be a problem at all. If you go up there with 2 big targets, you're gonna be fine. I don't think this would be the week to do it. I don't think it's a good week to do it. But anyway, Cody finally opened up to Jess a little bit in the HOH room last night. He lets her know he did not throw the power veto competition to Alex, but he also did not try as hard in the last 2 minutes when he saw that she was likely going to win it. And Jess was still like, so you threw it? Kinda, yeah. But he also lets her know, you know, also, he has a 5-year-old daughter, no biggie. She didn't seem to mind. She seemed cool with it. And late last night, this was a little bit later, he also let her know he's not 27, he's 32. So again, she's like, okay, interesting. But he let her know some more stuff about his personal life, how he was like in the Air Force as well for a few years, and that's pretty cool. Moving on, because we have a lot to talk about. All yesterday evening, people were trying to count votes. It's only Sunday, but at this point, the votes seemed pretty evenly split. I just want to like throw that out there. So then Alex, Jillian, and Jason were chatting in the have-not room. Jillian is nervous because she knows that Christmas is already working for those votes. She's going to have to pull out all the stops this week to make sure that she stays. But she's also freaking out because she's paranoid that Paul was in on this whole thing and that Cody knew that he had this temptation power. And she thinks that it was like some sort of Trojan horse scenario. And Christmas is like a freaking pawn and they're going to get rid of Jillian. Get it together, girl. Relax. But her campaign strategy this week is less is more. We'll see how that works out. But I have a question here. Are Alex and Jason really freaking serious about keeping their deal with Cody? Because that just seems ridiculous to me. But they're like, yeah, he didn't nominate Jason, and we feel like we could work with him next week, and they really don't want to put him up if they win HOH. Give me a freaking break. No. You see how unhinged he is? Come on. So anyway, moving on. Paul continues to make the rounds for Christmas again. He knows he's going to have to work really hard to get Alex and Jason's votes because, again, they have this deal with Cody, and he wants to make sure they're going to go after him, and he thinks that keeping Christmas around is going to be their best bet. And I mean, I'd have to agree with that. So he talks to Alex and Jason separately. Jason's not really biting, and Paul's just like, well, Christmas might stay without your vote anyway, so do you really want to be on the wrong side of that? Like, do you want that wrath coming towards you? Don't blow it. And then Alex is like, Paul, I would like to see you win HOH rather than me next week because, again, she and Jason wouldn't have to go back on their word. Ugh. Okay, so Paul says he's, again, trying to campaign for Christmas a little bit. If you keep Christmas around, she's going to be a bigger target in front of you. True. So maybe if the other side wins HOH and they're going to go after Christmas before they put up Alex and Jason. That is a good point. So then Mark and Elena are in the red bedroom, and this conversation, it was just like torture to watch and listen to. So Mark keeps asking what he should do with his vote this week. Elena's just like, you know how I feel, like, do what's best for yourself, do what's best for your game. So we know that Elena wants Christmas to stay at this point, So Mark is just like, I don't know, because you know he's like BFFs with Cody. So then Christmas comes in and campaigns to them, and she's like, Cody betrayed me. If I win HOH next week, I won't put you up, yada, yada, yada. And Mark's like, yeah, that's great. I want to work with you, but I also don't want to mess up things with Cody and Jess because I'm really close with them. So, sure, whatever. Later on, Mark is alone with Elena again, and he tells her, yes, I will vote out Jillian this week and keep Christmas. Let's do it. I hope things are still going to be okay with Cody and Jess. But is he really going to do that? Because then he goes and reports to Cody in the HOH room, and he's like, I just want to warn you, the votes may not be there to get rid of Christmas this week. Cody seems pretty confident that it should still work out, but at the same time, he's like, it might not be the worst thing in the world if Christmas stays. He seems convinced that the other side will go after Paul and Christmas if they win HOH. What? Why? I don't see that at all. It doesn't make sense to me. But Mark says that he's with Cody 1,000%. That's one thing you can be sure of. What is this 1,000%? I've heard it so many times. Anyway, today. How many times have I said anyway in this video? Anyway, today. This season is freaking cursed. If you thought yesterday was crazy, it did not let up today. So, we did not get to see this happen on the feeds, but apparently Jason and Christmas were horsing around in the backyard during the wake-up music. They were dancing. Christmas jumped on Jason's back. He was running around with her, and he slipped and fell on the grass, or fake grass. And the feeds come back on with Christmas lying on her back with her foot up in the air. She's telling production, hey, production, I'm not messing around right now. I'm pretty sure I broke my foot. Some would say she was making victim noises. It took forever for production to help her. She's just lying on the floor like, oh my god, this is so painful. I feel all the blood rushing there. It's really hurting. Jason goes inside to try and get her help. He's trying to wake people up. And, yeah, eventually the feeds cut. And I can just picture her lying on the floor still waiting, but they're like, cut it. We can't let anybody know that we're not out there yet. Just cut the audio, cut the video. So after a little while, the feeds come back and we find out that they took her out of the house for medical attention. Don't worry, it's not like she's not coming back, but they had to take her to the doctor. Everybody's freaking out. They don't know if she's coming back or if she's going to have to leave the game. I'm sorry. I love doing the production impressions. Cut the feeds! So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. They don't know what's going to happen here, especially because she's nominated this week. So they're like, holy shit, is Cody going to have to nominate yet another person? Like, what is happening? Also, Jason, like, went back to bed after this all happened. Like, I think Christmas was still in the backyard with the nurses out there, and I think Matt was out there holding her hand, and, like, Jason went back to bed. It was really weird. He did feel guilty a bunch throughout the day, and he's like, oh, I feel so bad that happened, but just the going back to sleep part really weirds me out. I don't know. Something weird about that. So, a couple themes throughout the day. Number one. The outsiders don't know if they can trust Cody. Alex and Jason made this deal with him, but they're like, I don't know, can we actually work with him? What are we going to do if we win HOH? They're also not sure if they can trust Paul. Who knows? Okay, 2. The couples. They don't know if they should vote out Christmas or Jillian this week. This is a real struggle. It's not just Christmas versus Jillian, it's Paul versus Cody. Because they're like, if we keep Christmas, maybe we can rebuild with Christmas and Paul. If we keep Jillian, we're fine with Cody. You know, they're feeling like it's going to be one or the other. But actually, they're thinking maybe they can have their cake and eat it too. I don't think so. Nobody knows if Christmas can continue, so they're having all these freaking strategy discussions, and then after they're just like, but who knows what's going to happen? Maybe Christmas isn't even going to be here. So it was very tedious and frustrating to watch. Kevin's strategy, continue to tell stories and wash towels. Keep it up. Dominique let Paul know that she's a nuclear engineer. It's going to be interesting to see if that spreads around the house or what. And then, what do you know? Christmas came back into the house around 2:20 p.m. She was on crutches. I believe she had a cast on. I think it was a hard cast. And, but I'm not totally sure on that. but she said that she tore some ligaments in her foot, but she's going to have to go back to the doctor on Wednesday for an MRI. They think maybe there could be a hairline fracture in there too. They don't know for sure yet, but at this point, she's going to continue on in the game. So what a freaking trooper. I hope she can work it out. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This was really long. I'm going to die now. But I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And until then, much love.